Welcome in to Orem High School for KSL Sports Rewind production of Orem football as the Tigers at home ready for a region matchup as they prepare to take on the Springville Red Devils. Thank you for joining us, everyone. My name is Dane Stewart. Please be joined by Dave Harrison. Dave, Springville Orem, two very proud programs, a region matchup, and Orem with high expectations. Springville coming in here. This is a team that's maybe a little under the radar in 5A.
Yeah, you know, Springville's always been a great program, great coaching, great kids that buy into the program. I know they got it put on them a little bit last week at Maple Mountain, but I expect they're going to come out and give Orem a good fight. And Orem, you know, they're looking for a region championship this. You know, they've got this week and then next week against Timpview, so this is a big game for both programs.
It is a big game. I mean, you talk about what's ahead of these two. Springville, this is their last region game, trying to end up with a region winning record. In Orem, you talk about that game coming up next week. They want a lot of trajectory, positive momentum heading into that one as Orem receives the opening kick, and look out. Here is Feletti Iongi taking the opening kickoff 95 yards to the house, and just like that, the Orem Tigers strike. Touchdown, Orem.
He got a great block on the sideline from Wesley, number 34, who held his guy to the sideline, gave him a running lane, and he hit it. He didn't hesitate. Great way to start for Orem.
And we did have officials coming together, but I don't see a flag on the field. So I'm not quite certain. The indication was a touchdown.
Holding 34 on the return team.
Well, I guess that's why that block was so effective.
That would be why.
It did look like maybe he had him outside the shoulder pads, but the effort was there, and you got to like that at least.
Now here's the thing. That won't count. But one of the players we were going to highlight was Feletti Iongi. He's been special this year for Orem.
Yeah, what a great running back, good vision. He hits the hole hard, and when he decides to get downfield, he's north and south, and he's fast enough that he's gonna outrun a lot of DBs.
He averages 9 yards a carry, over 1,000 yards already through 8 games, 12 rushing touchdowns, and he's one of their top receivers as well. This Orem offense has been spectacular. They will start on their own 29-yard line, and this will be Kaava. We'll talk about him as the game proceeds, as his first throw given to one of his favorite target in Akana.
Little play action look there. Usually Springville's going to play a lot of man coverage. That time they were in zone. He just waited for him to clear that outside linebacker and put it on him.
Kaava's been great this year. I think it's his first year starting. I could be wrong on that. I apologize if that's the case, but 67% completion percentage, over 2,000 yards, 22 touchdowns for Kaava on the season, as Orem now set up with a 2nd and 3 here. And we have flags coming in on the play.
Looks like we had motion on the outside, number 5 for Orem.
Good ball.
Kai Wesley.
False start. Number 79 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Yeah, they'll actually call that on Saddleback, the tackle. I didn't even mention Kai Wesley. This is a multi-sport kid, very talented, big frame as well.
Yeah, anytime you've got a 6'7" receiver, man, that's a big target. It's nice to be able to throw it in the area, and he's going to go make a play.
We do want to let you know the clock you see on your screen, unofficial. At times we start it early, stop it late, that sort of thing, to keep it trued up with the official clock here in the stadium. This is Iongi on the carry, and Iongi takes a 2nd and 8. Will pick up his average of 9 and a first down.
Yeah, I love that play. You pull guard and tackle, GT counter.
9 yards, and
they both first down. Made their block, kicked out the end. He turned it up inside, picked up 9.
For the Red Devils.
So we've already seen really the trio that has been the Orem offense in Kaava, Iongi, and Akana. You've OC'd a lot of great offense. I'll ask you this question in a little bit, but so many options, tough to defend. And that's the task that Springville will have tonight, is a first down for the Tigers. Play action, and nearly intercepted. I think that hit the turf. It did. Was looking for Akana over the middle. That throw just got away from Kaava.
They had a little seam out combination there. He was a little bit late on getting the seam. It was open about 5 yards short of where the ball got to him, and he overthrew it just a little bit, but there's a hole in that defense for sure. That was a good look.
Devils, number 6, Jack Pickering.
We'll set up a 2nd and 10 here for Orem.
2nd down.
Trips to the top side for Kaava.
It's like cover two man. It means there's nobody on the quarterback.
Oh, nice stretch there for the first down. I am curious, Dave, when you talk about that, help our viewers understand, how do you diagnose pre-snap coverage look like that?
Well, a lot of times you're going to look at the shell, the two safeties or the one safety. Orem sent guys in motion on nearly every play, which indicates a lot of times if you're going to get a man coverage
Man or
not.
zone, right?
Springville historically has been cover one man, and they're going to stop the run. So that time when they had a cover two look, it looks like they're cover one here.
Single safety. Your cue there, Iongi looking left side here. And Iongi with a nice run. He'll pick up 7. Boy, that's got to feel so good as an Orem team. You talk about Springville, they want to stop the run. And when you come out, run 9-7 yards a carry, how much confidence does that give your offensive side?
Well, it's so great as a play caller to know that you can run the ball and set up your pass off of the run. And they really don't even need to pass the ball the way they're running it. But, again, there they just pulled the guard. They sealed the end and picked up another 8 yards.
Set up a 2nd and short here. As that is Iongi in motion. They will stay on the ground here with Bills, and that's the Springville defense we've known over the years, right?
That's a Springville defense that I'm used to seeing. They load the box up. They brought an extra linebacker up, and they just won that line of scrimmage battle this time.
The Springville team had a lot of experience on last year's group, and there's some new faces. There are a lot of returners on this defensive side, and really it's an unheralded defense. We don't talk about it a lot. There's a lot of talent, including Zach Olson, the senior linebacker, leads, one of their top tacklers. Has sacks, interceptions this year. He's been great all around for this Springville D. As a 3rd and short, Kaava looking deep, has a Kana that caught inside the 20, 10, and out of bounds inside the 5. Boy, what a throw and play for this Orem offense.
Beautiful job by the offensive line. Again, Springville brought pressure off the edge. They picked up that blitz, and you get man coverage on the outside. You've got a guy that's that good. You're going to go to him every time.
I don't know how much you have seen of Akana, but, man, he's a kid. You watch him play, and so impressive because he's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger. Like, this has a guy that can be really a stud receiver. He's got a bright future ahead of him for Orem.
Yeah, he's impressive. And again, here we go. They just run power.
Yep.
Touchdown, Orem.
And again, it goes back to that offensive line, how good they've been in the run block. You give it to a kid like Iongi, no problem finding the hole. And Orem does score on their opening drive, 6-0 Tigers.
Impressive start for Orem. Again, like you said, the offensive line doing their job. Other than one play where it was a negative, they've dominated so far starting this game.
So on for the point after try here. This kick up and good. 7-0 Orem with the lead as they take the opening drive. 72 yards for 6. You're watching Orem football on the Rewind Sports Network. Welcome back. 7-0 Orem. Dave, an impressive drive for Orem. They were able to do really whatever they wanted.
Yeah, that's a great way to start the game. Springville now has got to come up with an answer. They've got to keep that Orem offense off the field because they were impressive.
I talk about this Springville team, and Red Devil fans probably won't love this comment from me. I'll apologize. I feel like this Springville team has been under the radar this year. And some of that has been they've had some losses in region play, non-region as well, and maybe had a little bit of a different trajectory. But you look at this team, they're 5-3, but Easton Levitt, senior quarterback, 21 touchdowns, only 1 interception, doesn't turn the ball over.
That's impressive. Anytime you have a quarterback that takes care of the ball, you give your team a chance to win.
They've got a lot of other kids as well. We'll talk about them as the game proceeds, as opening offensive possession for the Red Devils. They come out near side. That's a good little throw. Catch by Drake Peterson as the senior takes it up for a gain of 9.
I love that call from the offense. You get standard cover 3 out of Orem almost all the time. They're going to give you the weak side flat.
9-yard gain on the play.
And if they're going to give you No, 8 yards. You should take it as an offensive coordinator. A great call right there.
Peterson, one of their top receivers on the year. 600 yards receiving, 6 touchdowns, had a great year. Pickering is another name we'll talk about tonight. Lisi Vallette, lined up in the backfield here, wearing number 2. He's a young man to keep an eye on for this Red Devil group tonight. 2nd and 1. Orem showing pressure around the edge. They'll give this to the fullback and a nice little run for a gain of 3-4. Am I allowed to say fullback anymore, Dave, or is that position?
You know what? I love fullback.
I do too.
And especially in high school when you've got somebody that can do what he just did there and move the line of scrimmage, that's a good play call.
Yeah.
That time we had Orem, they had 5 guys on the line of scrimmage. Looks like we've got an injured player.
Yeah, that's the ball carrier, and he has not been able to get up. So we will step aside here. It will be a first down for Springville, but we'll take a break here as they come out and have a look. Orem leading Springville 7-0. Welcome back. Mo Finau was the injured player for Springville. Had help coming off, but was able to put weight on his leg. That was a good sign. He wasn't moving it much at all early. It is a first down for Springville.
Double tight formation.
It's kind of weird to see them in the shotgun, isn't it?
A little bit.
This is Vallette.
Yeah, he's just running it. Direct snap Wildcat.
Boy, and Orem was ready for that. Not much room there on the run for Vallette.
Orem's a tough team to run outside on. They like to bring pressure on the edge, and you've almost got to run underneath that pressure that comes from the outside.
2nd and 11.
I had a little birdie tell me that Maake Apo, number 50, for this Orem defense, is an absolute stud in the middle. He's kind of a you shall not pass kind of guy. And be interesting to see how Springville tries to establish the run against him, who's playing nose right now for the Tigers. They'll throw this out again. This caught by number 6. That is Pickering. We mentioned him earlier and has about a 7-yard gain there.
Another great job. Just take the weak side flat. That's what's open against cover 3. Another good play call.
So we'll set up a 2nd and short here, and they ran for a first down just a few plays ago. See if they can get that run here on this 3rd down conversion.
We'll see if Orem presses those outside receivers or if they still give up that 5-yard cushion. It looks like on the weak side that cushion's still there. They might just take that again.
They will try to run
downhill.
for it. And a first down. Good run there for Springville as it was Olsen on the carry. He's got about 5, maybe 6 yards, and that's another Springville first down.
Vallette with a nice block from the fullback position, or the H-back, I guess is what most offenses call that position anymore. But good job sealing the edge there, too.
1st and 10 from the Springville.
So first down for Springville. We were talking while we were at break and how much Springville needs to really get this clock running, keep that Orem offense off the field. You got to like, if you're a Red Devil, they've been able to get some first downs on the ground on this opening drive.
Yeah. Taking what's given to them. Orem's dropped back a little bit now into coverage, it looks like.
And some confusion here. Springville going to take their first timeout. Timeout, Red Devils. We will step aside, be back. You're watching Orem football on the Rewind Sports Network, presented by Heidemann and Associates. Welcome back. Early timeout there by Springville as a coach. Boy, 6 minutes in, is that frustrating?
Yeah, you hate to burn a timeout that early in the game. Direct snap, empty,
Yeah, Vallette trying to find some room. Boy, that's a good job just finding something. That play looked doomed from the start.
Yeah, anytime the snap's not perfect, especially when it's a non-quarterback in the backfield, it really messes your timing up. But he did a great job of making something out of nothing.
We talk about this Orem. The offense has been fantastic for Orem all year long. But the defense has been great as well. Mickelson, that's a familiar name in this neck of the woods. Riker Mickelson has been great for them, 40 tackles on the year. Snow's got 6 sacks. We talk about Oppo up the middle. This defense is tough. 2nd down, little play action. And, boy, that ball has a lot of heat on it. Right on the money to the 1-yard line. What a throw from Levitt. Levitt able to hook up with Peterson and it's 1st and goal, Red Devils.
What a great throw. That ball was 55 yards in the air. It was the first play-action pass that Springville's run. They had great protection. Even though he threw it into double coverage, he threw it over the top where only his guy could go get it, and he did.
That's what I was going to say. Double coverage, like that's a gutsy throw. Now, there's no safety help, right? He gets behind it, but, man, there's not a lot of room to miss that.
Yeah, it looked like a two-man route, and it looked like that's what he was going for the whole way.
So heck of a throw there, and Springville now knocking on the doorstep. Play clock down to 5 here. They got to hurry. They'll run it, and into the end zone. Zach Olson with the Springville touchdown to answer.
Great job by the right side of the offensive line for Springville. Again, a good block by their fullback. And Springville got a little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum here, and I think this is going to be a ball game.
I'm still kind of in wow about that throw. That's why I said Springville. I think they were a little under the radar. You don't imagine that kind of a play out of Springville because that ball's on the money. It's tight. I thought it had too much velocity. It was right there. Heck of a play.
He put enough air under it that his guy could run under it and make that play. What a good start for Springville. So both offenses drove the length of the field, and we got a tie ball game.
The answer Springville needed, the answer they wanted, they got it. 7 apiece, Springville and Orem. Want to remind you that the Rewind Sports Network is sponsored by Heidemann & Associates. If you have any legal needs, the experts at Heidemann & Associates can help take care of you. And if you tell them Rewind sent you, you'll get a free legal consultation. Visit them online at utah.law to learn more about the legal services that Heidemann & Associates can offer you. So, Dave, we saw Iongi with a return. It was called back. What do you do?
I don't kick it to Iongi, that's for sure.
End zone, would you rather go out of bounds than that?
I wouldn't kick it out of bounds, but I would definitely kick it away from him or just try and swim it down where they've got it. So it messes the timing up of their play. And here we go with an onside.
Oh, that took a favorable bounce, and it's batted out of bounds. That's a heady play by Orem.
Yeah, that's a really nice play. Valetti. Oh, sorry, wrong. Steeler Wesley. Good job. He was called for the hold on that first kickoff return. Makes a good play right there.
Tiger football, 1st and 10.
That's a heck of a play because it takes that bounce. I'm like, oh boy, Springville is going to get this.
That was a really good kick, and I like that. I like the fact that Springville's being aggressive. They're playing to win the football game. They're trying to do whatever they've got to do to win the football game. I like that.
Well, I think the other thing too is that I don't know. Maybe this isn't. I'm sure this isn't the attitude, but it's like Orem just marched down the field. Like, doesn't matter if it's 70 yards or 50 yards. Like, the offense is that good for the Tigers.
Yeah, Springville's doing anything they can. Now we'll see if the momentum from Springville's offensive drive carries over to the defense, if they can do anything. If they've made any adjustments between that first drive and this drive defensively.
What would you try to do defensively?
Stop the run. Stop the run, man press the best guy with a safety over the top to help. But when you've got this much talent on the offensive side of the ball, it's almost like you just pick your poison.
They will start with a keep. Penalty flag in here on the play, as that was Kaava
on the carry.
As if Springville needed one more thing to be thinking about.
Yeah, a little RPO action from Orem. It's the first time we've seen that. He pulled it. He's watching that end to see if he widens. If that end widens, he pulls and goes straight downhill. I didn't see if they had a guard pull, but typically you'll have a guard pull and lead up into that hole for the quarterback to follow. Fortunately for Springville,
illegal shift, number 71 on the offense.
They get the call, and Orem's now behind the chains. We'll see what they do.
I'm a little confused that a lineman got called for illegal shift, but
49.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either.
So it'll be 1st and 15 here for the Tigers instead.
I coached a lot of years against Springville, and their defense is really, if you can win one-on-one matchups on the outside, you can score points against these guys. But they stop the run as well as just about anybody out there.
It's Iongi on the carry. He'll get back to penalty yards. Nice run there by Folletti.
Good job up front again by Orem. Moving the line of scrimmage back 2 yards before there was any contact. And Iongi runs strong.
Yeah, he does. Coming off a great game. They defeated Cedar Valley. I think it was 45-14. He ran for 212 yards, 4 touchdowns. Iongi did.
Gain of 5 on the play.
He's a special back. And again, we talk about the options. You have a back like that. You know, you've had backs like that. Josh Davis was that kind of a back, right? You can incorporate him so many different ways. Became a problem.
Yeah, it's really tough to stop an offense that's got an athlete like that running the ball.
Second down, pressure coming in, and Akava going to go down. That's what Springville needs. They need some defensive success, and it's now Ufahu, the junior defensive end, able to come up with a big play for the Red Devil D.
A great job defensively, a good call there. He came up to the line of scrimmage late, didn't give the Orem offensive line time to make an out call, and came essentially untouched. Good job there by Springville.
Third down, 18 for the Tigers.
A matchup like this, we talk about just little bits of confidence with how Orem has shown they can move the football. Like you go from, yeah, we can run on a 3rd and 10. We don't care. We have 3rd and 19, 3rd and 18. You kind of know what's coming here, right?
Yeah, you're going to, got another whistle.
We get a timeout? Yes. Springville taking their second timeout.
Their second charge timeout of the half.
So that'll stop the clock. 2:54 to go. We'll take a quick break. 3rd and 19 for Orem when we come back.
Hey, fans, don't forget.
So
looks like Springville's going cover 2 man, which means the quarterback is not accounted for.
just a 3-man rush here. Kaava gonna go down nonetheless. Boy, how about the job by Brigham Penrod, the senior, number 55. Just a 3-man rush and still able to get home.
Wow. If you can get home with a 3-man rush, your defense is really going to help you win games. That was a great job by Springville's defense to hold this high-power Orem offense. Really, they lost 15 yards on that series.
We talk about coming off of games. Springville coming off a rough game. They lost to Maple Mountain 41-14. That's a great way to focus a unit prior to a big game like tonight. And, boy, that defense on that series played some impressively inspired football. How about the heady play here to corral that and a little bit of a return here. Boy, nice job.
Wow, that was close to being a disaster because he didn't see the ball that was kicked. It almost hit him, bounced right in front of him. Good job to maintain possession there.
That was Braden Smith. I mean, he's just trying to cover a gunner. Next thing you know, that ball's right in his stomach, and good awareness there.
Yeah, as an offensive coordinator, all you want is the ball back. You don't really care so much about the return, and when you see something like that, your heart skips a beat.
Oh, I'm sure. So Springville, great opening drive, ran the ball. They mixed in some underneath throws, had the big one over the top. See what they do here on drive number 2, as this will start at their own 26-yard line. Orem looking to bring pressure again. This defense has been aggressive, and Springville going to run it. Good, solid run, and still on his feet. Boy, what a run. How about that carry by Zach Olson? He has been really strong running the football here early.
What a great job as well by number 6, Pickering, downfield making a block. Added about 10 yards to that run, or 7 or 8 yards to that run. Good job just running downhill.
And that's a great job. We're talking about the pressure Orem was bringing. It was kind of middle and to the other side, right? They run away from it, big hole. Great job.
Yep, they had 2 guys on the outside of this left side, and they just ran where they weren't.
Yep.
Good play call.
First down.
Again, take what's there.
Yep. A little underneath throw, and nice job fighting through that initial tackle. That was Pickering, who had the block now with the catch, his second of the night.
Paying him off. That's it. We used to do that all the time at Alto. Somebody's making blocks downfield. As a receiver, we're going to get that guy the ball.
Whoa. Now, I always have been told, you don't call plays for a player. It's about taking what the defense gives you. Come on, coach.
No, you pay these guys off, man.
I know.
And Pickering, he earned that one.
He did earn that one. Second and short here.
Got man coverage on the outside, both sides, no safety help.
Again, you see pressure here on the strong side being shown by Orem. They'll run away from it again, and as another strong run by Olsen has the first down.
Wow. He trucked the Orem linebacker that time, and that's weight room right there. That's a guy that you can tell spent time in the weight room and just ran over a guy.
I've been really impressed with him. He looks a little thick, right? Like he can lay some wood, right? And he's obviously he's got some speed as well. Great combination back here for Springville.
Yeah, good base to him. He runs hard. You can tell he's probably done a lot of squats over the summer. And Springville's looking strong right now.
They are looking really strong as we're in the final minute of this opening quarter. Play clock down to 5. They'll toss this. Good patience. Olsen still on his feet, and he's got room. Touchdown Springville as Zach Olsen. Talk about the patience and the vision there, Coach.
Yeah, he did a great job. Again, a great play call. That's 3 times on this series where they've called the run play opposite of where that pressure's coming, and he just follows his block and hits the hole hard. He's a north and south runner, and man, that's an impressive start for Springville.
So the Red Devils taking their first lead of the game, back-to-back touchdowns. As the point after up, and that one no good, missed it.
And the point after kick
so the lead is 6 here for the Red Devils. You're watching Orem football on the Rewind Sports Network. 13-7 Springville. 2 really impressive drives. This Orem defense has to find a way to slow down the run. As Orem back to receive this kick. And they'll take it from their own 5. Boy, big block there by Iongi. And a good return for Orem. They'll start at their own 33-yard line.
I like that they kicked it away from Iongi. That's a smart play. I'm happy giving the ball up at the 30-yard line as long as you're not putting it in the hands of the best athlete on the field.
So we'll get to see Orem's drive. A couple of sacks on the previous drive. See if that offensive line can try to slow down this front from Springville.
Yeah, they had some penalty problems that kind of killed that drive last time. Let's see if they get back to running the ball here.
We've got 2 backs here on first down.
Got a light box.
It's Iongi trying to get the edge. Boy, good pursuit by Springville. And that might have been Pickering who came up to help set that edge for the Red Devil D.
He did a good job there. The thing that I thought, as soon as I saw him come up on that run that quick, though, is watch out for play action. Anytime you got a corner or a safety that comes up that hard on the run, you're thinking, I'm going to set him up, I'm going to go right over the top of him. So, end of the quarter.
First quarter in the books, and it's Springville with a 13-7 lead over Orem. You're watching Tiger football on the Rewind Sports Network. Start of the second quarter, 2nd and 8 here for Orem. Dane Stewart, Dave Harrison, Coach, you said one of the things you'd look for would be play action. I'm kind of surprised Orem hasn't stretched the field more vertically. They did once, had great success. Good throw here. They'll pick up 17 yards, about 15 yards on that play.
Nice job there. They caught they caught Springville in a cover 3 where the corner's dropping hard. That slant's always going to be there against cover 3. Especially on the weak side, it's an easier throw, shorter throw.
For the Red Devils.
I'll bring up a first down. Orem has shown a lot of versatility in their play calling tonight. I don't think they've kind of lived in the traditional run and throwing this down, and we'll see what they do here. They'll try to get Iongi going. Good lane up the middle, and boy, that saves a lot of yards, maybe a touchdown on that tackle.
Split zone, and with the offensive line that Orem has, downhill zone runs I like a lot because Iongi is so good at hitting the hole hard.
7 on the play.
You get him downhill, that's tough for that defense to stop.
You hear a lot about zone blocking as an offensive line. Help our viewers, what does that mean?
Basically that everybody on the offensive line, they're going to step a certain way, and whichever defensive player presents into that space, they're going to block that guy.
Bring up a 2nd down. Looking for a little screen, and this kept by Kaava. He'll have the first down and more. Boy, that's great awareness by the quarterback.
Yeah, when he sent a guy in motion, He was followed by his defensive back, 2 safeties over the top. That means that there's nobody that has the quarterback. And so automatically, if your first read's not there and there's a running lane, that's good coaching right there by the quarterback's coach to have his quarterback recognize that cover 2 man and there's nobody on him. Good job there.
And Kava's just a junior, right? He's got a whole nother year.
Yeah.
Like, he's showing some nice maturity, understanding of this offense. As a first down here, they'll give back to Iongi. Looking around that right edge, and Springville D able to limit his gain to just 5.
Yeah, just 5.
Just 5.
Man, you take 5 yards on first down every time.
Agreed.
Good job by the right guard getting out in front. They did a good job sealing the edge. That's a good offensive play right there.
Good to see Orem get back to kind of that mix, right? Run, passing, and a lot of that has been helped because they haven't had the penalties they had on that last drive, right?
Yeah, that makes such a big difference. If you can stay ahead of the chains, not shoot yourself in the foot. I like downhill runs with the way Orem blocks up front.
2nd and 5, little
There's your
play action
with a wheel.
Defended well, Kaava extending this. Boy, good pursuit there by that Springville D. I think it was Tuiono Valetti, the junior, coming up to limit the gain of Kaava on that run.
Yeah, he did a good job. Had his eyes in the backfield, saw that quarterback. Probably recognized the fact that that quarterback's a threat. He needs to make sure that they account for him.
And we've got an injured player over on the Springville sideline. That might be Kaava. And, yeah, it looks like that's the case. And, boy, that would be a huge ordeal for Orem.
Yeah, that's tough. Anytime your quarterback goes down. Looks like he's holding his wrist.
Boy, it's so hard. You don't know if he comes down on it awkwardly. Well, you can see him kind of shaking that a little bit.
So you got a 3rd and 4. They're probably, I don't know if they called a time. It's an injury timeout, so he's got to come off the field. I think you're going to see another split zone right down.
Just go direct snap to Iongi.
Either that or your backup quarterback's going to come in and hand it off to Iongi and let him make the play. And, you know, it's almost 2 down territory here anyways.
Right. So we'll see. Obviously a big 3rd down play here. We'll get a feel for Kaava. He's not going to the bench. He looks like he's ready to come in, but he is still certainly favoring that arm. 3rd down. A little option. Kept. 1st down and more on the carry by Oliver Bills. Listed as a running back, safety, and QB. The junior able to pick it up.
Pretty versatile athlete right there. He made a nice read.
8 yards on
you would
the
think a backup quarterback's coming in, you run a speed option, he's going to automatically pitch that. But he did a good job, made his read, cut it back against the grain, and picked up that 1st down.
And Kaava back in. So good sign for Orem. Good for him. Having a great year. You hate to see injuries impact playing time and all that. So Orem in the red zone.
You get down into the red zone, you get a lot more man coverage. Not here. You got cover 2.
Yeah, and Kaava going to go down. Nice job coming off of the original block as it was Marquez able to get the stop and no gain on the carry.
Marquez did a nice job. He kept his hands up, threw his block off, and reacted to the quarterback. Probably saved some big yards because they had 8 guys in coverage there.
So bring up a 2nd and 10 here for the Tigers.
Haven't seen Iongi as much as I thought we would on this drive.
They haven't really looked for him in the passing game, which I was expecting to see that a little bit more. He is lined up here in the slot, but we'll get injury substitution.
Springville's playing to stop the pass.
Officials timeout.
Kaava coming off, and he doesn't. Might be an equipment issue, actually.
He didn't have a mouthpiece. Again, you've got a 5-man box, wide 9-tech end out here, gets inside that end. He did a nice job there coming down to make that play.
Yeah, they try to go with it on the ground, and a gain of about 3 on the carry. So 3rd and 7 here. This is what are you looking for here, Coach?
Iongi. I mean, he's your guy. Now, When they got down inside the 20-yard line, they went up to Akana, and looks like he's got safety help over that side. It's again, you've got nobody in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
This is a run. This is a run box.
Akana
Nice.
throwing, incomplete. Had his man, was looking that time for, I think it was Beck Coy. Couldn't bring it in, and it's fourth down.
Ball was just a little bit behind him. I like that concept right there. You had the running back pulled that linebacker, that Sam linebacker, out of the zone. He ran a good route. Ball was just a little bit behind him.
So that will bring up 4th and 8, and the Tigers here are going to try for a 35-yard field goal.
35-yard field goal, number 13, Kawe Akana.
This will be Akana to kick it.
He does everything.
He does. This kick up from Akana, that looks like it is good.
Akana's kick is good.
So Akana with a 35-yard field goal will get points for Orem, and it's 13-10.
Orem Tigers 10, the Springville Red Devils 13.
I think that's a win for the Springville defense. The fact that they had first and 10 at the 20-yard line, they held them to a field goal. At least as a defensive coordinator on the Springville side, you're celebrating that with your guys, because with all those weapons that they have, they did a pretty good job of shutting that down.
Yeah, boy, that Orem offense looked so good on that opening drive. And the second one, obviously the penalties, sacks. That one, the injuries looked like it kind of slowed down the tempo they were playing with. See if they can come back from that. But their defense has to figure out, because Springville right now, they found something offensively, playing with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, and if you're Springville right now, you've got 7:13 left in the first half. You're going to try and take as much time as you can off this clock, score a touchdown, and try and go up, go in 2 scores up.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, though.
It is. It is. One of the interesting things about this Orem team, too, you can look at games they've had this season. AF early on in the year. I think Farmington was one of these as well. And then Maple Mountain just 2 weeks ago. They fell down early in those games, down multiple possessions in those games, come back and won all of them. So it is a team that they get stronger as the game goes on.
And that's a lot of – anytime you have experience coming back games like that, that means that you have a confident team.
This one into the end zone easily.
Wow. Into the win, too.
I know a lot of people don't like that high school can't return balls in the end zone. What's your thoughts on that?
It doesn't bother me. I would rather – I was an offensive coordinator, so I want the ball. So however we get the ball, give it to us. Yeah, there's a lot of things that bug me, but that one wasn't.
That's not one of them?
No.
Well, I mean, it becomes really hard to get the ball at the 1 in that situation, right? Which
True.
I'm sure as an OC, that's like maybe the worst circumstance of getting the ball, right? This drive starting at the 20. And as you mentioned, they're back to the ground. It's been an impressive first half for that young man running the rock.
I like that play call. That's worked for him already a bunch here in the first half. They've been getting great blocking there. The difference there, Orem didn't bring outside pressure, and so they had a linebacker that was able to run fit that and kept him to a 2-yard gain.
How important is it for Orem to get a stop on this drive, and maybe an early stop, right? Maybe give up 1 first down or a 3 and out.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal for both teams, this drive here, because going into the second half,
it kind of establishes the tone, right? Like who's really gonna own the game right now?
Yeah, I think so too, because they've both kind of had some momentum in the first half. They've done some good things on both sides. Now it's kind of let's see who separates himself.
On the tackle for the Tigers, number 2 is Zeki.
And this is a favorable situation for this Orem D. 3rd and 8. We've seen Levitt can throw the ball. I don't know if he's got an incompletion yet tonight, but I think you'd much rather have them in a 3rd and 8 than a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, where they may have some versatility in their play calling.
Yeah, I think it looks like they've got cover 2, but they're playing off.
They're going to bring pressure here around the edge. Levitt gets it away, has a man, that's caught. Pickering for a first down and more as he'll take this out of bounds, but that will move the sticks for the Red Devils.
Yeah, they actually dropped to cover 4. Both corners dropped 10, 12 yards, and he had a huge cushion.
We
Good
do have
call
a
again there. We got
we
a
do
guy
have
down.
a player down. Yep. Injury timeout here is a Red Devil lineman having to be looked at. We'll step aside. You're watching the Rewind Sports Network. There for Springville was Chase Lamenta. As, boy, coming right back and big hit. Mo Finau, remember, he left early on. He's fine.
Yeah, he looked good there. They ran power right, pulled a guard, led with a H-back, kicked the end out, got to the linebacker. That's a really nice run. And I would expect we're going to keep seeing a lot of that.
Yep. That's the thing for me is Springville, their running game has been great for years. But usually it's been like one back, right? I feel like they've got like three of them that they can use at any given point. This time they go back to Olsen, and he's got a first down.
And, that time Orem loaded the box up. They had 5 guys on the line of scrimmage plus the 2 backers, and Springville still got the push with a first down. This is a good drive for Springville.
Very good drive for Springville. They got it at midfield. 5 minutes to go here in the first half.
Zach Olsen on the carry, picking up a first down for the Red Devils.
Leading 13-10.
Ball spotted at midfield.
Levitt, little play action, double move on the outside, and that's over the head of Pickering, incomplete. Interesting play call there.
I like it. They're playing off, though. And so anytime you've got your corner that's 10 yards off, it's hard to get that hitch and go to work. If they're coming downhill hard on those curl routes, on those hitch routes, that's when that's going to pop. I like the play call. Orem did a nice job there defensively, though.
So it'll be a 2nd and 10 here. It does stop the clock, and now you're in a situation where you're kind of behind schedule, right?
Yep.
Do you run it here to try to get back on?
I would run it. Play action.
They'll throw outside, wide open. First down and more, as a heck of a move put on here by Siaosi Toki, the sophomore, as he'll move this up and have a Red Devil first down.
That's a tough ask for an outside linebacker to cover that. We used to call it beater, cover 2 beater, where you've got a go route and an out route on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Ball spotted at the
either a safety or a linebacker. That's a tough ask, especially with that kind of speed.
Yeah, first time we've called his name tonight. First time I think I've seen him on the field tonight, but he looked like, that kid's got a step.
Yeah, he's got some quick.
So first down for Springville at the Orem 31-yard line. Levitt continues to be impressive with his arm. Play action again. Has a man underneath. Wide open and just dropped it. That's one that Finau would love to have back.
Back out of the backfield. 3rd play action in a row. Pretty good call.
He would have had at least 20 yards on that.
Yeah, he might have scored. Yeah. But again, really good play calling here.
And is that one where, hey, you've kind of set the tone. We're going to run the football. We're going to drain out the clock. And so is that why they're going so heavy in play action?
Well, yeah, they've run the ball downhill. Anytime they're in that 2-back formation, they've picked up yards downhill. So as a defensive coordinator, you need to add another guy into the box to stop that. And he just ran right by his pass coverage assignment.
Levitt.
He's got
running out of time. Has Pickering wide open. Touchdown, Springville.
That time Orem got caught looking in the backfield a little bit. Again, play action. When you run the ball, play action tends to work, and that time defensive back looking in the backfield, and Pickering went right by him. Another really nice throw by Springville, and it took 3 minutes off the clock there. They could go up 20 or up 10 here.
I have to apologize. I'm a big Simpsons fan, and for whatever reason, Springfield just came roaring out of the mouth, and I don't know why. It's Springville. Yeah. Oh, my apologies to Red Devil Nation. Point after here for the Red Devils. Up this one good, and it is 20-10 Springville. My goodness. What a first half for the Red Devils.
Zephyr is good.
Coach, I kind of loved that they just went, hey, you think we're running the ball? Play action, play action, play action, all the way down the back half of the field.
Yeah, they did a really nice job. Usually you don't see 4 play action calls in a row, and so defensively you're probably thinking the same thing. Okay, they can't keep doing that over and over, but they did. And really, they only had, again, a 2-man route there. They had 6 defensive backs, and they just ran right behind them.
Well, and I think it was the same play as the earlier one when Levitt hit Patterson big, right? Patterson was going across the field, and this time came back to Levitt instead.
He really does a nice job. He's got an accurate ball down the field, and anytime your quarterback can, I mean, you see it all the time, even in the NFL, wide open guys, they overthrow it.
Yeah.
And he's had a couple of really nice downfield throws.
And I feel like he throws a really tight spiral. There's a good velocity behind it, but man, he can also like just drop it for his receiver, right?
Orem's got a big answer here. They need to come down. I think they need to establish the run again. Get downhill. They've run split zone just the one time that I recall, and they picked up 8, 9, 10 yards. I think you're going to see them get back to that a little bit.
They've got 4:19 left in the half. All 3 timeouts for the Tigers. And they will kick off to start the second half. So that's maybe why this drive is so important.
Yeah, you don't want to give Springville the ball back this half.
Kava will give to Iongi, looking out across that right side, and he'll pick up about 3 yards, maybe 4 on the carry.
Nice job by the defensive back coming up and making that play. It looked to me like he had 7, 8 yards with that. There was nobody. They sealed the edge again. They just ran an outside zone. When you're running outside zone, you tell your running back, widen, 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 and then look to cut up the field. He did that, and
3-yard gain on the play.
Springville did a nice job making a play there.
Their run defense has been stout. I mean, a couple of gashers on that first drive. Since then, they really haven't given it up. And to your point, Orem hasn't looked to really pound it, but they've not shown the same. Orem's not had the same success running the ball since that opening drive. On second down, Kaava with time. Boy, no one's looking for the football. I think there's miscommunication.
Yeah,
he has receivers trying to block.
I think they were looking for a screen, and now they're going to get illegal man downfield.
He just needed to run that, right?
Yeah, as a quarterback, anytime you've got a zone or you've got a screen play called and your back doesn't run his route, you've just got to run the ball because you've got offensive linemen down the field blocking now.
And I actually thought Akana's eyes were further down the field. Again, I can't tell. He's wearing a helmet, right? But
well, and sometimes you'll tell your quarterback, look downfield, and then come back to your back late with your eyes so that you get that depth from the defensive backs.
Because I didn't even see Akana or Iongi. I didn't even see Iongi on that play. He was totally lost to me. So
I think it was Sudweeks he was looking to get the ball to.
So it was a 2nd and 7 as we await the call here. Yeah.
Eligible receiver downfield, number 75 on the offense. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
You like that, declining?
It tells me that they've got confidence in their defense.
Yeah, they do.
You're getting a cover 2-man look here. Quarterback draw.
3rd and 7. Kaava. Thrown to Akana and immediately tackled. That's a great job coming up to make that stop by Peterson.
Yeah,
It'll
Peterson
be 4th
did a
and
great
short.
job. Kept Akana in front of him. Came up, made a really nice tackle.
By Drake Peterson.
Really good series by Springville's
Yeah,
defense that time.
they continue to be really stout. So Orem will have to punt here as we're inside of 3 to go.
Seen a lot of what I look at as a run box where you've only got 5 guys in the box. Oh, fake.
We've got a flag here on the play as Akana, I think he's got it, but flags here, I'm guessing this will come back.
Yeah, it looked like he had a hold in the backfield.
There are penalties.
Man, that's a gutsy call right there. Oh.
I think he got it. I mean, they're marking it at the 30, and it was a touchback, so I think it would have been a 1st down. but it won't matter.
Well, they could decline the penalty if he's short and
right,
get the
if
ball
he's
at the
short,
30, but it looks like
Number 23 on the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty for the previous spot.
they've got
Replay, fourth down.
they've got an interesting punt formation that
Well, the penalty moves the ball
never
back
mind.
to the 10-yard line. It'll be 4th and 20.
So,
Tigers.
yeah, now Akana instead will be punting from his own end zone.
yeah, that's a 25, 30-yard penalty right
Yeah.
there.
And Springville can have great field position here.
Oh,
And this one off the side of the foot will take an Orem bounce up across midfield. Fortunate for the Tigers, but Springville's going to have this with 2.5 to go. And, boy, they could make this an even larger lead.
yeah, Springville's got to feel really good about the way they're playing defensively against this high-powered Orem offense. But to your point earlier, Orem's come back in some games this year, and I don't think that they feel like they're out of this game by any stretch. Even if Springville comes down and scores here, I think you're going to see Orem come out.
How hard is it when you know you've got a good offense to keep your team locked in at mentally? Hey, guys, we're fine. We've been here before. It's okay. Halftime, we'll make a couple adjustments. We're okay.
Yeah, and your kids are going to feed off your coaching. If you've got a coach that's positive and says exactly what you just said, I think they'll respond.
Springville first down, leading by 10, looking for more.
Ooh, double move on the outside.
It's got him beat. Oh, and he dropped it. Oh, that is one that Peterson would love to have back.
He ran a fantastic route, a little post corner, plenty of time to throw the ball. Again, Springville's only sending 2 or 3 guys out in the routes, and they're still getting behind Orem.
I'm shocked by that.
I am too.
How about the aggressive nature of Springville there, huh?
Hey, like we've talked about,
Man.
They're calling their game to win it. They're not holding anything back. They're looking to get everything they can.
Yep. So 2nd and 10 here for the Red Devils. Levitt looking, and he'll just throw that one away. Was running out of time.
Yeah, he had nobody open.
Yep.
Good job there by the quarterback.
Toki, the intended receiver.
So 2:13 to go. It'll be a 3rd and 10 here for Springville. They've not had any problems moving the chains. I mean, they haven't punted tonight, so
They've run a lot of play action passes, and
they have.
And it's made sense because you're getting a loaded box from the Orem defense. But here, I think you're going to get a little pressure here from Orem.
Yeah, they're showing it up the middle. They will come. Levitt running out of time. Gets it away. That was caught. I think it's going to be a half-yard short. Well, I actually say 2 yards short here. It'll be 4th down. What do you do here, Coach?
The pass complete to number 6.
Boy, I don't know.
Pickering.
I'm an offensive coordinator, so I'm going for it. But
8 yards on the reception.
You and me both. I go for
I
it
would
here.
go for it too.
You had an onside kick earlier. It's like, guys, we came to win, right? Like, let's go take this game.
Yeah, I like that. And, that throw right there, he threw that off his back foot all the way across the field, and it was a dime.
And I was going to say, as we were talking before that last play, how about the Springville O-line? Because Orem has not been able to really get home much.
No, and they've brought pressure.
Yes.
Both up the middle and off the edge.
Offense on the field, 4th and 2. Springville, and we've got a timeout being taken here. That is the 3rd timeout. I think a good one. You want to get this one right.
Yeah, and I think what happened is they saw that they were getting press man coverage on the outside, and they probably had hitch routes called.
3rd and time at the half.
So a timeout by Springville. We will take it with them. 4th and 2 for the Red Devils when we come back. Welcome back. 4th and 2. Coach, what's your favorite route in this situation to call?
I go 4 hitches. Find the hole, find the guy that's giving you some room on the outside.
Thrown, caught. Another conversion for the Red Devils as Peterson with the grab. Contested grab nonetheless inside the 30. First down, Springville.
Yeah, just a 15-yard comeback on 4th and 2. It's a pretty good arm to get that ball there on time.
And how about he continues to just make good throws, doesn't he, Levitt? I've been so impressed with him.
I am too. What a composed quarterback. Even when he does have pressure, has been able to move his feet. sidestep the pressure and get the ball out, and he's made some really fantastic throws.
On my roster, he's only listed as 6'1". That's not right.
Yeah, he looks bigger than
He looks bigger than that. Inside of a minute, Levitt looking deep for Peterson. Oh, just through the hands. That would have been tough. Had that kind of late bump on Iongi. Man, that was close.
Yeah, that's another good ball. I mean, it hit him in the hands. A little better job defensively. He didn't let him get behind him. I'm kind of surprised they haven't run the ball at all. Of course, we've only got 43 seconds left in the half, and I think
no timeouts.
Yeah, burned all their timeouts, so they've got to keep the ball in the air. But again, here looks like you're going to get man coverage.
A 2nd and 10. To your point, coverage is off.
Well, cover 4.
Levitt looking for the corner flag, and that just overthrown. Was trying to get it to the young speedster Toki. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Smash concept there where the outside guys are running 6-yard hitches and the slots are both running corner routes. I always tell my quarterback, if you see those corners dropping, just take the 6 yards.
3rd down.
The challenge with that, though, you take that 6 yards, you don't get out of bounds, you don't get a first down. You've got another 12, 15 seconds coming off the clock, right?
Yeah, but I think whereas they were in a cover 4 where they dropped those corners as hard as they did. See, again here, you can go.
Oh, yeah, near side. Levitt going to go far side. Boy, turns upfield, first down.
First down. Clock stops. Get up on the ball.
That was Peterson with the grab. That'll stop the clock here with 30 seconds to go. It's running now.
And I like beater here where you run your – oh, he spiked it. Again, those corners are playing off. You can take that hitch or take that little out and just keep moving it.
And I even love that by Peterson because I'm sitting there thinking, oh, get out of bounds. But a first down does the same thing, right? Well, not quite as long because it doesn't stop it permanently, but it gives you enough time to get up so you can
Right, and you drill that in practice. You know when you run your 2-minute offense that you're stopping the clock on a first down, and that's really what the goal is. Get the first down, get the clock stopped, get up on the ball. They did a good job getting up, spiking it, so now they've got 2nd and 10, 27 seconds
If you're Orem defensively, you're still playing off here, right, because you don't want to give up the touchdown.
I think that you're going to get a little more a little more pressure on them there, a little hitch and go
little fake
there.
Screen, looking to the end zone for Dede, and that's incomplete, but a flag coming in.
Yeah, Orem, it just didn't turn.
Never turned around.
Ball. Yep. Yeah, so his back was to the ball.
Reed Dede is a young man we have not talked about. He's a 6'3", 200-pound senior, tight end. He also plays defensively. He's got 5 interceptions on the year. But this is a kid that could be a real matchup problem for opposing defense, given his size and his athleticism. And I love that Springville goes to him there late in the half, trying to take advantage of that matchup.
Typically, you'll see that play called after you've run a smoke screen to the outside, where you've got that defense coming downhill trying to stop that screen, and then you go over the top there.
Still 2nd down.
See what we get here.
Now, not an automatic first down. As they mentioned, first down strictly based off of yardage now.
I like slants over
2nd
here.
and short. Levitt looking to the end zone. What a grab! Touchdown, Springville. Peterson going up and hauling it in for the Red Devils.
You know, those kind of plays right there, you can tell that they've got some rapport. They've practiced that. They've probably stayed after practice and worked on that kind of a back shoulder look, even though it wasn't really back shoulder, but you just put it up there for your guy to go get it, and he went up and got that ball. What a play.
Double coverage again.
Yeah, you throw that to the outside like that, it kind of negates that safety over the top.
And the point after is
good. But I think for me it's like, but you still have a very small window, and it's right there, right?
Yeah, and he didn't float it. He put that on a line so that the defensive back didn't have a lot of time to respond to that, to react to that throw. And that's kind of to the point I was saying is they practice that. He knows that ball's coming hard, and his receiver expects it to get there quicker than the DB did.
Boy, kind of a stunned crowd here. It is quiet as a 27-10 Springville lead with 15 seconds left to go in this opening half. And Orem could really use a spark. Say on a kickoff return.
Yeah, and we saw the opening kick. They returned it. And if I'm Springville here, I'm not kicking it to Yongi. There's no way.
Agreed.
Kick it to one of these guys on the 30 or pooch it somewhere. Don't give them a chance to return this.
Squib it, something, right?
You want to burn as much time off the clock as you can on the kickoff.
Away from Yongi. Yongi kind of looked like he wanted it, but taken by the return man. Nice little lane. And that ball came out. That ball came out. And with 6 seconds left, does Springville have it?
Boy, when it rains, it pours, doesn't it?
Oh, goodness.
Beckham on the return. Ball is fumbled across the 40-yard line and recovered by
wow,
the
so Springville on it. They will have it at the Orem 42. We've seen Levitt has an arm. He can get this in the end zone, no problem.
He can get this in.
Do you have enough time for 2 plays here if you go sideline?
You could get maybe a 10-yard curl route or a 7-8 yard out.
Does that help you in this situation, or do you want as much room as you can?
No, I think I would run a little. I would try and pick up 7-8 yards.
Okay.
You got about 4 seconds per play if it's a one step and a throw out of the shotgun.
First down for Springville, looking for more. 7 seconds left. Levitt going over the middle for Dede. That incomplete. Clock will stop with 2.
So now you've got to go into the end zone.
That's a tough one because you make that catch. The ability to get up, spike it with just 2 seconds left, going to be tough.
Yeah, you have to sprint. Your guys got to get there. That over the middle, that's a tough to do that. 6 or 7 seconds, that's tough. Now, I've seen a couple of Hail Marys on this field at the end of halves, so we'll see if we can get another one.
Been the benefactor or
the benefactor once, and then Roger 2 years ago got us in the playoffs.
Oh. Roger had that ability.
Oh,
Levitt running out of time, and that'll do it. But, hey, if you're a Red Devil, you'll take it. 27-10, Springville with the lead over Orem at the break. You're watching Orem football on the Rewind Sports Network. Welcome back. Start of the second half. Springville leading Orem 27-10. And what a first half it was for the Springville Red Devils. Dane Stewart, Dave Harrison. Dave, I'm stunned. I don't know what you thought. When you think about that first half, what surprised you? What do you look for in half number 2?
Well, I think that I'm a little surprised as well. I thought that Orem was going to come out, especially after they started offensively as well as they did. But Springville, everything went right in the first half, and for Orem, kind of everything went wrong. And so I think as a coach, probably the Orem coaches told their kids that, look, everything that went wrong is going to change, and we're going to get those breaks in this half. But coming out defensively, they've got to get a stop here. They can't afford to let Springville go on a 7 or 8 minute drive and score another touchdown. They've got to get a stop here and get the momentum back in their favor.
There's a great movie line I love to quote for love of the game. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Kevin Costner. And in there he talks about clear the mechanism, right? And for me it's like, look, the first half's done, right? Flush it, get rid of it. Here's what we're going to do for the next 24 minutes if we want to come back and win this game. And we'll see if Orem can do that. They've done it before. We talked about they've had multiple possession deficits in 3 wins so far this year. They'll have to make it 4 here tonight as Springville will start with a run. And this kid has just been flat out impressive. I love what we've seen from Zach Olson. This limited just 3 yards, but, man, he's been such a beast tonight on the ground for Springville.
Yeah, they've done a really good job running that downhill power behind that fullback. Orem did a pretty good job there making a stop, but still you give up 3 or 4 yards on first down, you're now ahead of the chains. Orem's body language coming out of the locker was good. They looked like they were upbeat, they were positive, didn't look like anybody was hanging their head. So I expect that you're going to see a little better performance
which
this
I
second
think
half.
is really important. I thought at the end of the half it didn't look very good. So that's great, right? Come out, clear it. This ball's on the turf, and Orem has it. Hey, that's what you need, right?
That's exactly what Orem needed. It looked like Springville came out, used their first half script. The first 2 plays were the same as they started the game with. The difference was that ball comes out. Orem gets a break. Let's see if they can't flip this and
And you talked about first half, everything kind of went wrong for Orem. There's really their first break. That's the first time they've stopped Springville offensively, other than that last possession of 6 seconds to end the half. But see if that can help ignite this offense. Had success running the ball and throwing it. Let's see where they can go here. It is interesting. Iongi out in the formation here again on 1st and 10. Kaava running out of time, and he's going to go down.
Yeah, I think he thought he was going to get a little different look coverage-wise, and Pickering dropped right into the zone that he was throwing. He was looking for Iongi on that pass. Pickering dropped right into that zone, and he didn't have anywhere to go with it.
Lineman here having to come off, holding the shoulder. That does not look comfortable at all.
Oh, a lot of AC joint injuries in high school football. You see it all the time. Those are painful.
So 2nd down here for Orem. And Springville, again, they aren't bringing pressure. They're playing.
Yeah, they've done a pretty good job of getting
Over the middle, that's Wesley. 1st down and more. And I think the first reception we've seen tonight from Kai, it's a big one.
Kai Wesley,
you know, I like that. I like that one step,
down.
Get the ball out quick, find your guys, get them the ball, let them make the plays. Feed your studs is what we used to say when Josh Davis was at Alta.
And I like that too, right? Like, let's be decisive. Let's get that ball moving quicker.
1st and 10.
As they are right on the edge of the red zone at the 20. Kaava, little in and out route. Iongi inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal, Orem. Just like that, boom, boom, and you're right at the doorstep.
Yep. Feed the studs. That's exactly what they're doing. A nice route there. We used to call that the whip route. Fake like you're running a slant.
1st and goal to go.
Plant, get back to the outside. He stayed flat on that route when he came out of his break. Gave him plenty of room to get open, and nice throw.
Springville held Orem to a field goal in that 2nd quarter. See if their defense can get a stop here much closer to the end zone. Motion here from Iongi. They will keep it with Kaava, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Orem.
What a great start for Orem offensively. Other than the first play, which was a sack, they had 3 really great plays, positive plays. I like the play call at the end zone with that quarterback zone read. Kept it, got downhill, got into the end zone.
And that feels like what we saw from Orem on their first drive, doesn't it?
Yeah, that really they executed well. They got the ball out quick. They didn't give Springville's defense a chance to make a play. Yeah, that sets a tone for the second half for Orem, definitely.
Well, I think there's a bit of a,
the point after kick is
not
good.
An attitude, but a confidence again, where it's like, hey, this is who we are, this is what we're going to do, like, and just take care of business. Decisive, look good. You mentioned Josh Davis. Let me ask you this question. What was your favorite thing coaching Josh Davis? Like, what was that like?
Well, I coached Josh Davis from the time he was 8 years old.
Okay.
And the thing about Josh was that, and it doesn't happen very often, it's not very often that your best talented player also is your hardest worker. And that's what Josh was. Josh had Zach Ingstrom, who pushed him. But those 2 guys were our best players, and they were our hardest workers. So when you lead from the front like that, it lifts your whole team. You know, and over the years, we've coached other guys that were fantastic athletes, but not necessarily great leaders and great workers. And that was what really separated Josh from the other guys.
Josh was a special kid. Watching him play, his versatility. I mean, I don't feel like we've seen a guy with that versatility since maybe like a Britton Covey, right? But it's been a while.
Yeah, Britton Covey. When I first started coaching, I watched Reno Mahe, who was fantastic.
Yep.
And he was the only one that I ever thought compared physically to Josh.
Nice little move here on the return up to the 25. Springville will come out there offensively.
Yeah, and I think, you know, they just need to stick to their game plan, keep running the ball downhill, take those 5-yard, 7-yard hitches that Orem will give you. And we'll see if Orem stays in that cover 3 or cover 4 where they're dropping those corners. This is another. It feels like Springville needs to get the momentum back because Orem feels pretty good about themselves right now.
We'll talk about that a little bit more, but we'll talk about this drive here. Springville starting at the 25. Tried to run the football last drive. They're running it here. Olsen, strong carry that goes for 7.
I love that power play that they're running. They run that well. They kick that end out.
And we talked about the offensive line from a pass protection standpoint, but again, you see Olsen getting 6-7 yards. They're eating up the first and second level of this Orem D.
Yeah, they're really doing a good job. Springville's left tackle is collapsing that side of the line, and so it really opens things up, especially if you've got a good kick block out and that your H-back comes up, picks up that linebacker. There's lots of room to run.
That left tackle is number 71, a sophomore in Spencer Hall, as they will go on the ground here and going to be shy. Boy, that's good run defense there by Orem to limit the gain.
I like the call. I like running the ball. They've run the ball well. Now, Orem loaded the box that time. We'll see if they load the box again and try and stop that,
1 yard to go.
That power.
As an OC, are you even tempted here to do like a play-action pass?
You're always tempted to do a play-action pass. Yeah, and we had great quarterbacks at Alta that could, and great receivers. But really, you should run the ball. You should get downhill.
They will.
Power again.
And he's got it. And more. Olsen able to pick up, 13 yards on a 3rd and 1. Impressive run.
Yeah, really a good job. And Orem looked like they knew that was coming, but again, the offensive line did a great job collapsing that side. They won the block at the line of scrimmage. The kick-out block again. I mean, run it until they stop it.
If you're Orem, what defensive adjustments can you make right now?
Well, you've got to tighten that down. You've got to stop that kick-out block. So you've got to collapse that block down so that he has to bounce that outside.
First down. Springville. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. But that's a heavy hit laid there. Again, it's just one for Olsen.
1 yard.
But still, I like that they're going downhill.
It's a mentality thing, too, right?
It is. It definitely is. And it sets up play action, sets up boot, sets up a lot of things if you can keep running that ball.
One of the things Mark Schler says is one of the toughest things is to move a guy against his will, right? And when you can do that repeatedly, it just gives you an air, and you can see Springville's playing with that here tonight.
Same play.
Yep, second down run, pressure in the backfield. Nice job there by Orem. It'll set up a 3rd and long.
Yeah, that time they got a little pressure up inside from Calvin Gardner. Did a nice job, made the back take a step to the outside before he wanted to instead of just running downhill.
Making the tackle. 1 yard on the gain. It'll be 3rd down and 8 for the Red Devils.
I'm not even going to guess what Springville does. I mean, I think they would throw it, but they've ran with success in this situation tonight. So.
Well, we've seen out of this formation, play action, 2-man route.
Edge pressure, Levitt throws, caught, first down, and that was Pickering. We've seen him on that little in and out route. It's worked tonight well.
Yeah, you've got to have a quarterback with some arm strength to make that throw to the wide side of the field. Pickering ran a great route, but that quarterback's putting the ball on the money. Really good job by Levitt.
So first down for the Red Devils. They've got it at the Orem 40-yard line. They've been in this formation this whole drive.
Yeah, they haven't gotten out of it, and really no need to.
Right.
Wow.
They will run it. Nice hole.
Wow.
Olsen still on his feet. He's got 9.
Now Fahu, number 8 for Springville, completely collapsed that side of the defensive line. Just washed him down 5 yards.
You're familiar with Springville, obviously, from your coaching days. Is this one of the more difficult or one of the more well-coached offensive lines? It feels like every year, right? Their offensive line just road graders.
And the thing about Springville is their Little League program runs the same stuff. And so these kids have been running this their whole lives. They know that you've got to make that down block. They know you've got to wrap and kick to the linebacker. They know that.
Olsen again.
And again, they've run the same play 6-7 times this year.
And to your point, it's like, hey, we haven't been running this for 3 years. We've been running it for 10. We know what we're doing.
Yeah, it's a really respectable program they've got all the way from the Little League up through. And it doesn't matter. Every coach that they've had since I started coaching has run the same stuff. And so, familiarity really makes a big difference.
And one of the things I love about that is, you talk to a Springville kid, they're proud they're from Springville.
Oh, yeah.
It means something to that community. And when you have that kind of continuity throughout your youth program, like, of course it means something, right? Because that's who you are, that's what you do, it's what you've been trained to do. And they've been executing it really well tonight as a gain here of 6.
Power right, power left, power right, and it works. They're really doing a good job running the football.
Zach Olson on the
And
carry.
look, that time is ticking away. We got 4.5 to go here in the third. On this drive alone, they've chewed up 5 minutes already.
Yeah, Orem's got to have somebody on defense step up, make a play right here. Get the ball out, tackle for loss, do something to slow this Springville run game down.
2nd down. Any guess?
Power right. I love it, man. I love when an offensive coordinator just runs the ball until they stop you.
Now, you were telling me earlier, you had a head coach telling you run the ball, and you're like, I got too many good options. I got to throw it.
Yeah, now.
Olson on the carry.
Yeah, okay. Busted. I did have quarterbacks.
You had great options. I'm not trying to be critical. You had great options.
But he was right. Alema was always right. Run the ball until they stop you.
Yep. 3rd and short here.
You might get play action.
Oh, miscommunication. Boy, interesting there, because so what do you do here?
I'd kick it.
Letty Yongi and Riker Mickelson defending for the Tigers.
That doesn't sound like an OC mindset to me.
but
3 yards to go for the first down.
Look, you go.
I get it.
Almost 2 touchdowns, 13 points. Yep. You don't want to come out. You don't want to have such a great drive and then come away
get nothing, right?
You want to have something on the board to show.
33-yard field goal.
Yep, understandable. So this will be a 33-yard try for Springville. Jonathan Zaftra, this kick up, and was that wide? No, just in. That's good.
Really impressive drive by Springville right there.
Well, and again, so that took off 6+ minutes. That's half a quarter. You just drained away, right?
Yeah, and that's as good as any defense. Just keep that Orem super offense off the field.
All right, I'm going to go back to this question. How special was you coached? You were there Josh Davis' senior year, yeah?
Yeah.
How special was that year to coach? Again, we talk about his versatility. He would have set the state record if it wasn't for one Jalen Warren.
Yeah, it was the most fun I've ever had coaching because the kids all bought in and it paid off. We had success running the ball. Obviously, ran for 2,800 yards, whatever it was. But we also threw for 3,700 yards.
And he had like 800 yards receiving.
Yeah, he was fantastic. We had 8 first-team offensive all-state kids. It was a lot of fun. Anytime you score 50 points a game, it's a lot of fun to coach that.
Orem here on the return, fielded inside their own 5. A little bit of a seam. Nice return up to the 38. And I won't bring up bad memories. I'll just say in that semifinal game,
Springville shut us down. Yeah, the thing that happened in that game was Springville didn't miss a tackle.
That's where the Tigers began first.
Josh Davis was always so good after contact. He would run through tacklers all the time, but that 16 Springville team was special.
I mean, how many times is it Davis in the flat and he makes a guy miss and it's 20 yards, right?
Yeah.
And that did not happen that game.
No, they did a great job.
Oh, that one almost intercepted, intended for Ionki, and almost found its way into the hands of Harris.
I like the play call. It's, take what they're going to give you, get the ball in the hands of your guys, get the ball out quick. Just kind of one of those deals where you turn your wrist as a quarterback and it sails on you.
Well, and remember, had that injury early, right? Don't know if that was throwing hand or not. He has not looked quite the same since that point. And again, you were just on the bench for 6+ minutes, so a little cold, right? Let's see if he can find his rhythm again. Akana there in motion. Kaava working outside, has Akana. That caught across the 50 and more. Akana to the middle. breaks through a couple of Springville defenders, and just like that, Orem has it down to the 24-yard line.
Kyle did a really good job of stepping up in the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield, and then he threw it against his body right into his hands. What a good throw.
And we talk about Akana. Boy, how about that elusivity, right? Like, he's got a step. Looks like that play is going to be stopped. He breaks for another 20.
And I thought he was going to take
I thought he was too. Yep.
He made a really good decision there.
First down, they'll go on the ground. A gain here of about 6. Nice run there for Orem. As on the carry again was, I think, Curtis.
I love watching this offensive line from Orem run downhill. They just move that line of scrimmage. And Springville's done a fantastic job today, but
second down.
Boy, you get those big boys downhill, and it's really tough to stop that momentum.
It is 2-possession deficit. You can still run the ball here. It's third quarter, right?
You've got all
sorts
still.
of time.
And again, there are 5 guys in the box. You got to run that. Well, they're in an empty.
Underneath Iangi.
Freddie Iangi, the intended receiver.
Had him open.
Yep. And again, another good call that time. It's kind of a reverse whip route where you're faking the out route, planting, coming back inside. Made a good throw. Just got to catch that. He'll catch that next time.
Third and short here. Is this 4-down territory given the situation?
I think so. I think you can run the ball downhill twice. A little heavier box this time.
Looking, end zone, Akana, and ripped out at the last moment. What a defensive play put on by Zach Henderson. I thought that had 6 all over
it. I did too. It was just a tiny bit short. He kind of had to come back just a little bit, and he made a fantastic play.
Yes.
See what they decide to do. It looks like they're going to go for it.
I actually think it's a good throw. Akana normally comes up with it. That's just a great rip late by Henderson.
Yeah, really good job getting your head around, seeing where the ball was.
So 4th down for Orem. They're going to go for it.
Springville thinks they're going to throw it. Take it.
Oh! And that one just behind the intended target, looking for Iangi. And boy, you saw Pickering there defensively. Made that a tough throwing lane.
Yeah, it almost looked like they weren't quite on the same page. Iangi stopped, hitched, and then he went. And quarterback was looking for him just to sit.
Over on downs, 1st and 10.
So Orem, good drive going, ends up stalling in the red zone, and that Springville offense coming back out here with 2 to go in the third quarter.
Orem's going to have to load the box and stop this run, because if they can't stop this power from Springville, they're going to be in some.
On the ground, Olsen up that right side, able to pick up 4.
Feels like when we used to play East, man. They just pound it 3, 4 yards every time, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And the frustrating thing to go with that is Springville is a team that always very well disciplined. They don't get penalties. They don't get behind schedule. It's like we just do what we do, and good luck.
Yeah, Springville's not going to beat themselves, that's for sure. Orem's got to make an adjustment here. They haven't run a counter. They haven't run anything except really power downhill.
2nd down. That's a great job getting in the backfield there for Orem.
Yeah, really nice play that time by Orem.
Yeah, it was Vea.
It looked like he followed the pulling guard, made the play behind him.
This is a big 3rd down for this Orem D. Got to get that offense back out on the field. Inside of a minute to go here in the third quarter.
Orem's corners are playing up tight, so they're not going to give him that 5-yard hitch that they've been giving him. I like that.
Play action.
Looking for his back out. He wasn't there.
Looking deep over the middle, and that is intercepted.
Great job by Orem defensively. He stayed with him all the way across the field. That's a big play for Orem right there.
Burnham Sudweeks, the sophomore safety, able to cut underneath that route and pick it off. Second turnover of the half created by this Orem D.
It looked like the wind held that ball up just a little bit. That's the first throw that he hasn't made.
Well, that's so important for Orem. Again, it's just felt a little flat tonight, and you get something like that, get a little bit of energy injected back in that sideline, and out comes the offense again.
Yeah, that was a big stop defensively for Orem.
First down, Tigers will run. Up the middle here, I think that was Mickelson. Yeah.
Mickelson did a nice job. Just followed his blocker, put his shoulder down, and picked up 5. And again, they kind of use the same power formation that Springville's been running. A little different look to start with, but the execution was the same. They pulled the guard, followed him up the hole.
And that'll do it. Third quarter complete. It's a 30-10 Springville lead. Does Orem have another comeback in them? We'll find out when we return. You're watching Orem Tiger football on the Rewind Sports Network. Welcome back. Start of the fourth quarter. And Springville. I've been surprised that their defense has been able to get pressure on Kava.
I'm surprised they have been too, but they've been doing it all game. And that time they went a cover 2 man. And really, if you see that as an offensive coordinator, obviously they're not doing any check with me, but that's a run box. You see that defense run the ball.
Foul, number 50 on the defense.
Wow, big play. Just called a personal foul, so what would have been a sack and a 3rd and long, it's a first down for Orem here.
Yeah, that's a 20-yard penalty. I mean, it's a 15-yard penalty.
But you would have had a loss of 5.
Yeah. And you lose the sack. I still Orem has plenty of time to run the ball.
Yeah, and we really haven't seen Iongi run the ball. They've lined him up on the outside, and they've been looking at other guys out of the backfield.
Yeah, a couple of outside zones, and that's about it with him.
First down.
Again, you got a light box.
Kava looking to throw. Just led Akana too much, incomplete.
Great read right there. Just got to make the throw. Good route.
When there's all sorts of room there. I mean, you hit him in stride.
Yeah,
Ball's in the hand of your best athlete. He's got 7 to 8 yards before anyone's even near him.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
They'll probably come back to that one because he was wide open. Back to their man coverage.
On second down.
Cover 4.
Running out of time. This is going to be kept. Penalty flag here. This one's going to be coming back.
Yeah, I think we got a hold.
Penalty flag on the play.
Man, there's nothing worse than holding penalties. Trying to get a drive going. You need to get down. Now all of a sudden it's 2nd and 20. Here now, you need to just be looking to pick up 7, 8, 9, 10 yards. You don't want to make the mistake of trying to go and pick up 20 yards, get it back, give yourself a 3rd down and manageable.
With the penalty, the ball spotted at the 46-yard line.
So it'll be 2nd and 20
for the Tigers.
Haven't seen any draws or any screens at all.
Kava.
Nobody's on Iongi.
That's where he'll go. Folletti Iongi turning upfield. He'll get back those yards. A gain of 10 here.
Nice play there. It looked like Springville, they've kind of just passed off the motion guy. That time he was supposed to run with him. He stuttered a little bit, got behind his coverage, and Iongi was wide open.
So they get the penalty yards back. Now a 3rd and 10 here for Orem.
And even here you're looking
4 downs.
You're thinking you need to get 7, 8 yards here.
Yeah,
you don't need to try and go over the top.
You're not punting the rest of this game if you're Orem.
No, and you get off coverage on the outside, take a 6-yard hitch.
They'll flail this out.
Get the ball to your guy.
Room Iongi, first down, is able to leap across the marker, a gain of 12, and that'll move the sticks.
Beckham Curtis made a fantastic block on the outside there. The slot receiver just, he made that play right there.
24.
And that's the explosiveness we talk about with this Orem offense, right? Iongi, I mean, how quickly he turns that upfield.
Yeah, find a way to get him the rock.
They'll give it to him.
And
Iongi.
again, another good block on the outside. Orem's really doing a good job on the outside. Those receivers are nice blockers. It makes such a difference. In fact, we talk about Josh Davis. He had so many yards because he was great, but his blocking on the outside was always really, really good.
Second down.
Kind of goes unheralded, and you don't hear a lot about it, but it makes a ton of difference. It turns a 10-yard run into a touchdown.
Second down, Iongi.
Feed your stud.
Yep. He's going to be close to the first down. Might be a half yard short here.
Yeah, find a way to keep getting him the ball.
Yeah.
Just short of the first down.
Orem's O-line starting to fill their oats a little bit.
It is third and half a yard to go. On the ground, room, and it's an Orem touchdown.
Great call.
I think it's Zach Graver with the 15-yard touchdown run.
They did a really
Orem
nice,
back in business.
Yeah, they're back in this thing now. That play, they had Iongi go in motion. The middle backer bounced with him. They ran with him, and there was nobody in the middle of the field. Good call there by Orem. I have a feeling this one's going to go right down to the end.
Yeah, this one's not done. Boy, that is a big touchdown for Orem.
Big extra point right here.
Yep. Kick is good. It is 30 to 24. Springville still in front, but the Tigers back to within one possession.
Score the Orem Gold Tigers 24.
Want to remind you that the Rewind Sports Network is presented by Heidemann and Associates, a full-service law firm with locations along the Wasatch Front and down here in Utah County. They can meet with you virtually as well if needed. And a flat fee service. If you have any legal needs, the experts at Heidemann and Associates can take care of you. To learn more about their services, visit them online at utah.law.
We talked about Springville usually doesn't make a mistake. They don't have any penalties. They don't beat themselves. They had a penalty there. It hurt them a little bit. Orem did a great job of getting the ball to their studs.
In fact, if I recall correctly, both Orem touchdowns in the second half were off turnovers.
Yep.
Right? The fumble.
And Pickering deep to receive.
Yeah, big.
Did they score on that drive, or is that the one they got stalled?
They got stalled.
Okay, all right. My bad.
But still.
Hey, the last one was off a turnover.
Plays, yeah.
The defense is making plays. Thanks for saving me on that one, Coach. This kickoff going to be shy of the end zone. Return available.
Oh, boy.
Split it. And big return up the sideline. Did he stay in bounds? Yes! Down the sideline, it's Jack Pickering.
What a
95 yards for the Springville answer.
Wow, that's a big play right there. That is a huge play. Anytime you can get a score with special teams, your winning percentage goes way up. Did a nice job there. The three gunners on the outside on this side for Orem didn't get blocked, but he got straight up field. They made the blocks they needed, and there was nobody.
Boy, that was great vision to make that little slip right through, because there was not a lot of room, and once he did, it was trouble. Point after, up, and good. 37-24. Springville punches right back.
Orem's going to feel like they need to start to push it a little bit, I think. You're almost to the point where you can't really rely on the run game as much as you did.
It's getting close.
Yeah. You still have time, but I think you're going to see Springville playing a little bit off. They're not going to load the box. They're going to make you throw short balls underneath.
And honestly, call me crazy, that may play to Orem's favor. Because, again, okay, if I can run a little 5-yard route with Iongi or with Akana and then let them work in space with some of their agility, that's not a bad route either, but you got to capitalize. And we've seen some of those throws that have just been off target, haven't been on the same page, haven't been able to execute that consistently yet.
And that's a good point. They have had open receivers underneath. They've just either dropped it or missed the throw a little bit. But you're right. I mean, you get these guys the ball, you get Akana and Iongi the ball, they're going to make somebody miss. They can turn a 5-yard hitch into a touchdown pretty quick.
So a touchback here. Orem will start at their own 20-yard line, trailing 37-24.
Tigers will begin first.
See how Orem responds right here.
You know, you made mention we haven't seen a lot of screens. That's become a staple in a lot of offenses as an extension of the run game. Does that surprise you tonight? I mean, I think we've seen 1 or 2 called. One wasn't.
Yeah, there's been a case. He hit a Iongi a little on a little hitch or on a little swing route out of the backfield. It does surprise me a little bit. It's an easy way to get your guy the ball in space.
Kava.
He's got him on the outside.
Yeah, there's Akana. Did he make that catch?
He dropped it. Yeah, he had 2 guys open for a long time right there. He sees that just a little bit quicker. I think that it's the other thing. He's throwing into the wind, and that it's a long throw into the wind. But still, he had a guy open. We got to make that play.
Yeah. So a second down now. Kava.
Middle.
Was looking for Wesley.
Just barely out of reach. He had him there. It's a good read. That's where the hole in the defense was. Well, again, just missing it by a little bit.
Yeah. And again, I don't want to speculate. There was a hand injury. Don't know which hand it was. And again, it just has not quite looked the same.
Yeah, and then as a quarterback, if you've got a hurt hand, it's really tough to be accurate.
So a 3rd and 10 for the Tigers. And we've got whistles here. Timeout being taken by Springville. Their alignment, they were trying to make some late adjustments to it. Going to take a timeout.
It looked like they wanted to double team Akana, and they just didn't get the communication down.
So timeout, Springville. We'll take a quick break. Be back. 3rd down for Orem when we come back. Welcome back out of the timeout. 3rd down. Boy, everyone deep trying to take a shot, and Dede with the interception.
Nice job defensively by Springville. They just dropped. They weren't going to let anybody go over the top, and played center field, made a nice play.
6th interception of the year for Reed Dede. We talked about him earlier. That guy's the disruptor defensively. If you're Orem, you don't have a lot of opportunities. Everyone deep. Got to try to make a play. You need yards. You need points.
Yeah, double post against cover 2s. It's a tough get. 6 interceptions on a year. That's a great year.
Yeah, it's a good year. Good year.
We had Noah Flores for us a few years back, had 5 interceptions, and he was as good as we ever had there.
So Springville, guess what they'll try?
Orem knew that was coming, and that's what they've got to do. They have to
this
stop
is just
that
sell
run.
out, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's just run blitz.
And I hope that your corners can stay with the guys.
Yeah.
But, as an offensive coordinator now, you want to snap the ball with 3 or 4 seconds on the shot clock or on the play clock.
Yep. And we haven't talked about that, but even in the first half, they were doing that, right? You made mention on the first drive. They've got to shorten this game, really drain off the clock. They've done that pretty consistently throughout.
Yeah, they've done a good job. So they're under 10. Taking what they give you.
That little hitch there.
Keep the clock going.
Peterson with the reception. They'll gain 5.
At some point, Orem's going to have to come up on that hitch route, and that's when you get that double move that they tried in the first half.
Valetti.
3rd and 7 here. Do you run it? I mean,
I would, yeah.
Because I was going to say, right now, clock is your enemy, right? It's 2-possession lead, 4th quarter.
Yeah, I mean, if you run the ball here, it's a whole minute, essentially, that Orem doesn't have.
They'll play action.
He's
Levitt running out of time, able to evade, and he'll get out of bounds.
And he gets a late flag.
Oh, was there? Yeah, right at the 45.
I was going to say, he should have stayed in bounds. He should have got down, stayed in bounds, kept that clock going. But he went out of bounds, got hit late. Now he got a first down.
That close to a stop. And instead the penalty will move it for Springville. First down.
15-yard penalty.
That's a tough call. That was hard to tell from up here how far out of bounds he was, but that's a tough call.
I get it, but those are still hard calls for me to be good with. I get if you lay a guy out, right? But what are you supposed to do? Let him just run the sideline? That's a really tough play for a defender. Not much there on the carry.
No, they're selling out. They're pinching those outside linebackers in hard to try and stop that power. It may be that they get to another 3rd and long and they boot out of that. I haven't seen him run a boot, but those outside linebackers were not even looking. Well, they're just coming down hard.
And while Levitt may not be like your prototypical multi-threat, he has shown he's got some elusivity. He can extend plays. I love the thought of a boot on a 3rd and long.
Yeah.
It's 2nd and 10 here.
Keep it on the ground. Oh, he's going to throw it.
Running. Yeah. That was a good job by Orem. Got good pressure in the backfield that time. Kind of sped up his clock, right? You could see that.
And I expected this from Orem from the very outset of the game, and I like that they're doing it now. They caught a break there, incomplete pass. The clock stops. Back to a 3rd down. And again, if you can get this 3rd down stop and the clock to stop, well, that's a double win.
Yeah, that's a big win for Orem. How about this? Levitt going to go shotgun formation. Haven't seen this a lot tonight from Springville. Quick throw, that incomplete. Was looking for Peterson.
That looked like hook and ladder. It looked to me like he had his back coming for a pitch.
I think you're right.
We used to run that a lot. Scored against Skyridge with Josh Davis on that play one year. But that's what that looked like to me. It looked like they were trying to put the nail in the coffin. But, as we said,
they got the stop. Clock stopped.
Yeah, lost 4 seconds. Double win right there for Orem. Let's see if they can get a clean return.
Didi to punt the ball away.
Didi on to kick. Snap a little high. It's blocked. Wasn't it?
It looked like it was
deflected.
Tipped. Yep.
It was deflected.
Yep, it was tipped.
Because that ball was deflected, there is no roughing the kicker penalty. Boy, I thought they got all of it.
Yeah, I don't know how he didn't. It almost looked like he overran it just a little bit. What a great play. See, that's where you have your playmakers come up and make plays at the end of a game.
So Orem will start at their own 22. For how that play started, that's about the best result you could hope for if you're Springville, right?
Yeah, that could have been a return for a touchdown. See, they've got it. Okay, they're
getting aligned here. Empty backfield.
You got quads over here.
Kaava. Boy, looking for that screen for Iongi. And you talked about just haven't been on the same page. Just small little things like that all night.
Just a little bit off. And again, it probably goes back to that hurt wrist in the first quarter. I like that play call. They had them outnumbered on the outside. They got big guys out here blocking.
And you get to Iongi, right?
Yeah, you're getting it to your guy.
Everything was just set up for that one. Second down.
We're getting cover 3.
Underneath, Iongi will pick up 8, maybe 9.
I like that play. They need to pick the pace up
Yeah.
a little bit. They've got to play with a little bit of
Third and 1.
urgency here.
I'm actually tempted to take a shot here. You're going to go for it on 4th down anyway, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I like getting the first down. A lot less stressful. There you go. Good
and
ball.
Akana will get it. I said
love
that before.
I love that call right there. That cover 3, sitting in that hole.
That's a good for a
And I was going to say, I said that before Springville came out. 2 safeties deep. You don't do it then, but
Yeah. They've started giving us a cover 2 look, but then
Yeah.
they rolled to a 3.
first down.
Now it looks like you're getting cover 2 man.
Kaava has
And that's the
Iongi on the slant. Iongi inside the 20, looking for 6 inside the 10. Touchdown, Orem!
That's a man's play right there. Yongi just made a play. What a fantastic throw.
We talk about the Orem explosiveness. That's what it is, right? Like, let your guys work. And Springville's done a great job of really tampering that tonight, but you see how quick this offense could score.
Yeah, and there's been 3 or 4 balls that he's either dropped or just barely, the ball's been just high or behind him. But boy, you get him the ball, he is explosive. Another big extra point right here.
Point after. This kick is good. So Orem with another late response, trying to reel in the Springville Red Devils. It's 37-31 Springville.
Akana's starting to get hot, starting to make some throws. He's starting to feel it. Springville needs to run some clock right here.
That they do.
Because I have a feeling if Orem gets the ball back, they're going to make another play or 2.
Now, I know I'm going to ask you a coaching question. Coaches are very selfish. Orem has 3 timeouts. Do you rather have the defense use those to give you more clock, or do you like those in the offensive play caller's pocket?
If I were an NFL coach, I say you want it on offense. But in high school and college, you can stop the clock with a first down.
Okay.
And so I would love to have the timeouts, but if
you want more time.
If you have if you're under 3 minutes and your defensive is on the field, use those timeouts on defense because you can stop the clock. You can control the clock when you're on offense. On defense, you have no control.
Okay.
Other than the timeout.
That's what I would figure, right? But I know some coaches are like, no, I want it. I'm the offense. I score points, right? And
we practiced our 2-minute offense as if we never had a timeout.
And I think that's the right way to do it because sometimes you don't, right? And you can't always control that.
Yeah,
so.
those are kind of a luxury.
Yeah.
The way I always looked at it.
This kick is out of bounds.
Bad break for Orem for that ball to go out of bounds.
That ball literally was like 90% into the end zone and decided to just go lateral.
Yeah, it kicked straight left, 90-degree kick to the left. But, it's 15-yard difference. You're going to get the ball at 35.
And the reality is that's really not going to change the play calling for Springville. It's not going to change what you got to do on defense. So,
right. Yeah, you've got to make it stop. One year, I can't remember who we were playing, but they kicked it out of bounds. I told the official, we'll just take it at the 40. They gave it to us at the 40.
No way. Those coaches always looking for an advantage, huh?
Anything you can do. Some of these guys, these officials are fantastic.
Yeah,
Our high school officials here in Utah, for the most part, are really good officials. High level.
I'll tell you this. You might get frustrated with calls. You sit down with an official, and they will explain it, and you'll have a completely different perspective, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we have really good officials here in Utah.
We got whistles here. An injury. So Olsen is still down. He was he looked a little dinged up that last possession this time.
Yeah, he was limping a little bit earlier, but looked like he got pulled down and that knee twisted underneath him.
He has had himself a night. That kid has earned his post-game Capri Sun or oranges or whatever penalty flag here on Springville.
This is a big penalty, too.
Yeah.
we'll see if Springville tries to get the first down through the air or if they just keep running the football.
We do have the injury timeout, so we will take a quick break here as they continue to look at Olsen for Springville. We'll be back. 5+ to go, 1st and 20.
It's interesting to see what kind of play calls we're going to get here. If Springville's thinking they're going to just run clock or if they're going to try and get the first down.
They will throw. Levitt trying to get out of the pocket. That ball's on the turf, and I think Orem's on it. They are. The Orem defense with their 3rd turnover of the second half has them taking over at the Springville 24.
Orem has really stepped up defensively in this 4th quarter, and they've made some plays that have now put them in a position where they can go win a football game.
Boy, and Springville, which looked so comfortable for so long, that first turnover was unfortunate. The interception missed throw, that one is like, oh man, that's one you just got to learn to live another down, right?
Yep. And that's what happens. You drop back to pass. You put yourself in a position to turn the ball over.
And so what will Orem do? Iongi with the carry, and that's a good job. Team defense there coming up with the stop.
Springville did a good job up front there. That was a little different play. They ran that once in the first half. It's kind of a backfield counter. And they just didn't make the down block on the nose guard.
And how big is that earlier missed PAT right now? Could be the difference. 5 to go here. Orem just 25 yards away from potentially tying or taking the lead.
Feed your studs right here. Riley Jensen used to tell me that all the time. Feed your studs. There's nobody on Akana.
Cava over the middle, has a man. Did he make that catch? Touchdown, Orem! What a grab!
A little 4 vertical switch route there where they ran a wheel and a little bit of a bend, and boy, he delivered the ball. We talked about it. He got hot. He's starting to make some throws. He's feeling it. What a great play right there.
It was Coy with the touchdown on the diving catch to tie it up, and boy, he came up. He might have the wind knocked out of him after that one.
I think he landed on the ball, knocked the wind out of him. He's dinged up on the side here. Big extra point here.
That is 2 touchdowns in 1:30 for Orem.
Well, we knew we were going to have a finish here, didn't we?
How about the resolve of Orem? I mean, again, it did not look great for a while. Not a lot of energy in the stadium even, right? And now all of a sudden it's like boom, boom, boom. They got a chance to take a lead.
Yeah, talk about an explosive offense.
Orem to take the lead.
9 to 11.
This kick is up. And the Tigers 38-37 with their first lead of the game since it was 7-0.
Great snap right there. Dylan Dye, the long snapper. You don't really think about how important they are, but in a situation like that, you've got to have a good snap, a good hold. Got to hand it to Orem, boy. They didn't give up. Here they are. Got a 1-point lead.
And now if you're Springville, I mean, you got to be shell-shocked in some respect, right?
Yeah, they had this thing not necessarily put away, but boy, they were in a good spot.
I think they felt, I don't mean this in a negative way, they felt comfortable. Hey, things are going the way that we wanted, right? This was our game plan. We're executing like we feel good. And just a couple missed opportunities. Orem takes advantage, and now you got 4.5 plus to try to come back and get a win on the road.
Yeah, they've got to stop this Orem pass rush. This Orem pass rush has really come alive in this 4th quarter.
Deep to receive the kick for the Red Devils.
All right, well, we'll see if they return another kick for a touchdown.
I was just thinking that's their only touchdown of this second half is that kickoff return. This kick, a line drive into the end zone. Yep.
And the Cubs kick into the end zone for the.
And that's a great point. We talked about, Springville defensively, what they had done. How about this Orem D? You talk about they're getting more pressure, but the only points the defense has allowed was a field goal in the second half.
Yeah, Orem's defense has been really stout this second half. They let Springville dictated they were going to run power, and they pounded the ball, and they made down blocks, and they kicked out the end, and Orem hadn't let that happen this second half.
Yeah. Well, they had the one drive, but then it got kind of delayed and stalled, and
they're bringing pressure.
Levitt on the throw, caught by Peterson, brought down,
Ball's
a gain
out.
of 5. They called him down.
Called him down. Good job by Orem keeping him in bounds. They're gonna keep. Probably going to see a lot of cover 3, cover 4, keep the guys in front of you, but they're bringing pressure.
Frank Peterson. Picked up 4 yards on the reception.
So 2nd and 6 here for Levitt and company.
Got Pickering out here wide.
Yeah, he's got a lot of room, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Youngie on him.
Just
Levitt
thinking about him.
over the middle, has a man, that caught. Multiple flags here on the play. I think there's going to be a roughing and an offensive PI. You want to make a guess?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you're going to get a hold or a late hit. And over the middle, somehow he was wide open.
I think they're going to say an illegal pick down the field is my guess. And I did think Levitt got hit late.
So they'll just replay that, which is to Orem's advantage.
Yeah.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding on the offense.
Oh,
Number 50.
my bad.
Holding on the defense. Those penalties offset. Will replay 2nd down.
0 for 2. 0 for 2.
I would have been 0 for 2. I just didn't venture a guess.
It remains 2nd and 6.
So to your point, Coach, 2nd and 6, replay the down.
They could run this ball.
Outside linebacker coming on pressure.
Boy.
Levitt goes down.
Yeah, again, we've seen it all night, or at least in this 4th quarter. A.J. Snow's had a couple of big plays from this left defensive end position. Now they've got Springville in a tough spot.
Snow's the top sack guy for this Orem defense coming into the game tonight.
Ball moves, loss moves the ball back to the 15 where it'll be 3rd down.
6'2", 215. He's got a nice
For the first down.
pass rush body.
3rd and 15 for Springville. Pressure again. Levitt goes down again. This Orem Tiger defense is causing all sorts of havoc.
That time it was Calvin Gardner from the other side. Yeah, anytime you play, at least when we would play Orem or a Timview, where they would have a really heavy pass rush, we used to run a lot of tunnel screens just to keep them honest. And we haven't seen any screen game at all out of Springville. And that's a tough way to... Tough defensive line to block.
This punt from the back of his own end zone from Dede will take a bounce. And
pretty good kick.
Yeah, not bad. So 2:15 to go, and Orem will come out with a chance to salt this game away.
Springville's got a couple of timeouts.
Yep.
They're going to have to use them 1st and 2nd down unless they get a 1st down on the first play, then you wait. But you got to stop the clock quick here.
For those interested, other big 5A game tonight, undefeated Roy hosting Bountiful. That game 42-35 Bountiful with 5 minutes to go in regulation, looking to hand Roy their first loss. Would be the last undefeated team in 5A being Roy. Orem to run. Iongi, good seam up the right side. Iongi, and how about that? Not going to test the sideline, not going to test the clock.
Really good job there staying in bounds. You don't need to score. You don't need to get down, let that clock run. So
1st and 10 from
because they got the 1st down, you wait to use your timeout. But at this point, you've got to use them. You got to stop the clock. You've got to make a stop right here, Springville.
We're inside of 2 minutes.
Springville's defense has been on the field a lot this second
It
half.
has. First down. They'll give to Iongi again. Boy, it's almost like he's trying to save his legs because he has been the workhorse out of the backfield in this fourth quarter.
Yeah. This second half, it's been a whole different offense for Orem. And, boy, every time he gets the ball, there's a chance he's going to break it.
Yep. So
All right,
Springville
you've
taking the
got
timeout.
Minute and a half. You got one more timeout. You've got to get a stop. Call the timeout. You might get the ball back with 30 seconds.
And right now, look, a field goal's fine, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let them kick a field goal. I mean, it'd be great if you only had to kick a field goal to win the game, but it's better than, obviously, you can't give up a touchdown or a first down. First down, game's over.
And even you give up a touchdown, they kick a PAT, it's 8, right? It's still one possession, but are you a fan of
letting them score?
Yeah.
I've never liked that. Bingham tried to do that to us one year. I think it was 2012 up at the U, and we kneeled it on the one. They let us score. We kneeled it down on the one, won 17-16.
Oh, that's awesome. Iongi with a second down carry, and he'll just
timeout.
Go down. So that's the last timeout for Springville. 90 seconds left.
Timeout, Springville.
I guess analytics will tell you that that's what you have to do, that's what you should do, but I just have never really seen it work. And so philosophically, you just hate to give up a touchdown or give up a score.
So let me ask you this. This is really the ball game, right?
Yeah.
You get a stop here, 25 seconds come off the clock, about a minute to go, they'll kick a field goal. If they get a first down, you have no timeouts left.
Then
is that when you're like,
you don't have a choice.
But
That's
there's
the
so
only
much
way.
room. I don't think you can let them score either, right?
If they get a first down, you can kneel it out. Game's over.
Oh, that's true. Yep. Here's your ball game. 3rd and 4. Iongi, he's got some room, and
He's
he
short.
is. I think he's.
Is he short?
I think he's right there. No, he's got 4th down on the near side. Do you go for it?
Yeah, I'd go for it here.
I would too.
If I'm Orem, I'm going for it.
Me too.
Let the clock run all the way down. Maybe call a timeout.
I was going to ask if you do that. Yeah, you got 20 more seconds on the play clock here.
Yeah, you burn that, you're going to get down.
Sikava very, very aware of where we're at. 10 to go. He'll sneak. He'll get it. That's the ball game.
What a comeback by Orem.
Super impressed.
Yeah, and you know, when they walked out at the half, you could see their body language. Nobody had their head down. They still believed that they were going to come back and win the game. And sure enough, man, their defense stepped up and made some fantastic plays.
It is one of those where, guys, we're fine. We've been in this situation before, right? And I'll say this, super impressed by Springville. I know they're going to feel disappointed they didn't come out with a win tonight.
Yeah.
But, man, we saw a group that, like, I'm like, man, I wouldn't want to play them in the playoffs.
No, I wouldn't either. And you know what? You never want to play Springville in the playoffs. And they're always well coached. They're always disciplined. And they had a couple of little things tonight that kind of hurt them. But, you know, I have a ton of respect for the way they run things down at Springville. And I would not want to play them either in the playoffs.
They can kneel this out. Wait about another 10 seconds. Take a knee. This one will be in the books. So the Orem Tigers will improve to 4-0 in region play, 8-1 with one more game left here to take on Timpview for a region title and probably a top 5 seeding in the RPI.
Yeah, and I think I love Roy. I love the Northern Utah teams. I played at Layton, but I think Timpview is the team to beat in 5A. Orem, though, they've got the weapons. They could make some noise. That'll be a good game next week.
Impressive game tonight, really from both sides. Orem with the impressive fourth quarter comeback. Coach, a selection of a player of the game. Who would you pick tonight?
Ooh, boy, I think Iongi. He's electric, and he made guys miss. Got into the end zone late in the fourth quarter. That would be my choice. Defensively, a couple of those Garner on this
Yeah.
defensive end on this side made a couple of sacks, caused a fumble. Those are my two, offense and defense for Orem.
Great selections. Orem 38-37 over Springville.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Come join us next week, senior night, wrapping up the regular season for the Tigers when they take on Tempe. You can catch that game right here on KSL Sports. For Vince Francis, Dave Harrison, my name is Dave Stewart. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Have a great evening.